Alright, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Uh-oh. Alright, sorry about that. Let me get this turned around here. So, welcome back. Oh, that's all jacked up. Sorry. Alright, so welcome back to the shop. I am a little lethargic. I just had big ass steak and potato for dinner. But trying to get a little bit done. Finishing up the SU27. That way I can get the programming. I have all the batteries done, which I kind of mentioned in the last video. And I finished up the seat mounting, so the cockpit's completely done. Now I'm just making some leads here. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I'll just kind of do this and kind of talk a little bit. So that song, Here in My Cars, which was Gary Newman in the 80s, that's actually a Fear Factory version of that, which, funny story, I haven't met him yet, but someday hopefully I will. One of my close friends, Jace Lewis, I've mentioned a few times on here, the rocker, retired, so he says, but he still does like all kinds of crap. He's busier now, I think, probably than he was when he was, you know, a musician and doing all that concerts and stuff. But he's actually really good friends with that guy, being Welsh and, you know, from across the pond. So hopefully I'll meet him someday, just like Brian from Queen. He's real good friends with him. He's done some work on, and actually had some recordings and stuff on his albums in the past. He just was given given a guitar from Gary, which I haven't got to see yet, but eventually I will. But yeah, it's interesting to kind of see that side of things. You know, I'm not famous at all, but those guys are have some pretty famous friends. But anyways, yeah, another kind of story thing here. I posted a picture of the shop. You know, I was sitting here watching the Chiefs game, and it's kind of like my sanctuary here. I tend to stress myself out with politics and job stuff and everything in between. It seems like I'm my own worst enemy, so it's nice to have this place to kind of come to and relax when I get, you know, I get motivation for it. That seems to be the biggest problem these days. But I built this place originally to build an airplane, and I did, you know, if you've seen any of the past videos when I was building and things like that, you saw the actual RV-10 tail here, the tail kit, and that's what I was going to build. I was going to build an RV-10 because, you know, I have stayed away from flying as a career since retiring from the Army. You know, I had the job with the airlines. I did everything all the way up to taking the ATP written and everything. And the only thing I was waiting on was getting the type rating with the airlines. I had a job with PSA, which is a kind of regional, a small regional owned by American. So it was kind of like one of those things that, you know, you would eventually flow up to. They kind of guaranteed that with the job, as you would flow to American. But COVID kind of killed it. Didn't really kill it. It just delayed it. And then they called me back, and I just decided not to do it, you know. I was, you know, I had a good job, or I have a good job. You know, I'm home in my bed every night, not having to live in airports and eat crappy food, you know, every night, and then, you know, that kind of stuff. So I told them no thanks, you know, and didn't go back. But, you know, so I was going to build an airplane, and I figured I'd be happy just being able to fly for myself, which is kind of the truth of it. Like, I don't need I need flight time like a hole in the head. I got plenty of that in the military, but I do miss it, you know, because everything about me and my whole childhood, young adult life and midlife was all about being a pilot and everything, and I really do miss it. It just sucks because of COVID, and what happened with COVID caused the whole experimental side of the house to get ridiculously expensive, especially with vans. Everybody decided they wanted to build an airplane, and this is an XT60 with a multiplex for the power box batteries, and that's just what I'm making. This goes from the actual battery to where I plug in on the board that runs up to the DLPH2, the power system. So using 14 gauge wire. But where was I? So when COVID happened, everybody was stuck home. They decided they want to build a damn airplane. Go figure, right? So vans got really overwhelmed. You know, tried to bite off more than they could chew, ultimately causing them to file for bankruptcy. They're still around, as everybody knows, but what the problem was is it caused a extremely long wait time for the kits. And I wanted to do quick build because I'm not going to spend 7-8 years building a slow build before I can even fly, you know. And then, so that was my thought, was to get the quick builds, you know, and hopefully could do it in about 3 years was my goal. And it was quite a bit cheaper. Well, as another problem with COVID, it caused everything to go through the roof. Like, you know, general aviation, I hate to say it, is a rich man's hobby again, unless you want something that you can just put around with. That's not me. My mission is to go as high and as fast as I can efficiently and carry at least 4 people with luggage and up to 6. That was kind of my goal. And originally that wasn't the goal, obviously, because of the vans. RV10 is a 4-seater, but that was kind of going to be my starting point. And yeah. So COVID happened. It got too expensive. It actually became cheaper to buy certified. And I do have an A&P kind of background, so I can go get my A&P if I want to kind of help, you know, work deals, work on other people's aircraft while they work on mine. That kind of stuff was kind of my thought and everything. But it's just gotten so damn expensive, and to do what I want to do and be responsible and safe, you kind of need a certain type of aircraft, which used to be fairly reasonable. You know, twins, I want a twin. Used to be fairly reasonable because the cost of them, you know, to operate was so high. So it was cheaper to get the airplanes. Now they've tripled, quadrupled in price, and the other downside is they're getting old. A lot of the companies that overhaul things aren't overhauling certain engines and things like that. So general aviation is almost killing itself, unless you, again, are one of the, you know, upper pocketbook class that I like to say, the upper 1%, that can afford to pay $1 million for a single engine aircraft, or a $2 million for a twin engine, you know, Diamond or something like that, you know, or a Honda Jet, you know, things like that, which is sad. So that was like, originally that's what the shop was about. It was to build an airplane while doing my RC, doing these videos. So I'm just kind of been doing the RC stuff, but eventually I would like to build something here, you know, like real airplane type. But that being said, I did build this to do videos and things like that, and also a place for people to come and, like my local RC people, to come and hang out, which has been non-existent. So, which is also sad. Maybe they just don't like me. I don't know. Could be the case. Maybe I'm just an asshole and nobody else can hang out with me. So that's all right. But that being said, this was a part of the equation, was to build something to have, and you know, people want to come over and hang out, build stuff. You know, it's here. So I'd kind of really hadn't, you know, thought about that in a while, and then on one of my posts tonight, Andrew Jeske mentioned it, you know, because he's just down the road. He's just right up the road, actually. And it kind of got me thinking. I was like, well, maybe I should kind of get back to that kind of stuff. And, you know, I try to do these things to help people and promote the hobby and things like that. And then the side business was kind of like, well, I'm only going to sell things that I think are good for the hobby, which is what I did. And that might be, you know, that's probably going to go away here soon. So it kind of gives me, you know, kind of brings me back to the other stuff, you know. So hopefully I can do something like that, you know. Just hang out, socialize, you know. You don't have to build anything. But I think it'd be kind of cool once I get everything done in here to have, you know, people over, bring your build over. Well, you know, if you want help, we can help you. If you just want to build it by yourself and just bullshit with people, you know, that's another part of this too. Like for me, you know, I've been doing the RC thing so long, you know, about 30 years. It's a social thing, and it's a relaxation. So I think I'm going to try to do some of that here in the near future. If I can get people to come around, you know, I could maybe entice them with beer and steak or a pool, kind of like we did, had steak tonight. But we'll see. But that's what this is all about, you know. And I'm going to try to get my garage storage and cabinetry this year. It's just that stuff's expensive because I'm going to buy the pre-made stuff, and just you put it together and it's there. It's just so expensive, especially what I want. And I just kind of had to let my pocketbook recover from building this place. And I gotta get a vehicle. Actually gotta get a couple vehicles this year. My kid is 6. Well, he's actually 17, but he needs a car. So thinking about giving my wife's car to him and then buying her a new car. Plus, I need an everyday driver. I'm just waiting at this point because they don't have the diesel engines in the Yukons yet. They have them, but I want a 25, and they're not available yet because they did the refresh on them, and they are awesome. I'm glad I waited. And that's what I want. So anyways, but 12 minutes. So sorry about that, guys. I'm just talking right now. Might be the alcohol. I don't know. I've only had like 2 beers. Anyways, so getting back to the jet here, flipping it around, tapping the screen. There we go. All right. So I got, you guys didn't see this, but I did glue in a solid, the same light ply that I used here for these, that I glued on top to put the mounts for the Powerbox batteries. I glued one in with the Velcro, the industrial, like the plastic type Velcro. So these are hard mounted now, but I can still get them out. And you can kind of see, I think you can kind of see where I glued it in. It's just about that big. And the leads is what I'm making here. So I just finished this one here. And these are they just run through. Say that, get in there. Yeah, I don't have it strapped to my head. I need another arm. Sorry, hold on. There we go. But it comes up here. These plug in just like this. I really like these batteries. I kind of stayed away from them because they're much heavier than just your basic type of pack that, you know, these are some my buddy makes. These are awesome. You know, ions are great for power systems. So, but I always stayed away from these because it wasn't as many milliamps. This is only a 5,000 packs, and these are 52, and these are 6,000 right here. And you can charge them at 5 amps. They're 2-cell, so 7.4s. But you know, I always liked them because of the mounting and just you know, Powerbox makes a good product. But you know, you can get a couple different types, and you can plug a charger right in here to 110. You know, and you got like this external. You plug this. It's like a little light, a monitor LED that you can plug in here, and you can mount it someplace you can see it. Or you got the little LED on the actual thing. And another thing that's pretty cool is this guy. This was the leads that come with it, but I'm not using multiplex on on the other end. But you can take the little back guard here and plug into it, and it'll discharge the battery down to its storage capacity is kind of what I'm understanding. Kind of a neat little thing. So when I'm done flying for the season, I'll just plug this guy in, get it to a point, and then unplug it. But you can kind of see here, I think you can see. Let me pull this guy. Oh, there you go. And it just plugs in up here in the front tray. And then the turbine batteries, it's hard to see, but they just plug in right here, right there. So you got turbines plug in here, and then the battery, the balancer lead, which you can check voltage, it just hangs out the bottom here, and then of course the power systems plug in right here, and that's it. So everything is mounted, hardwired, and kind of essentially how it's going to be when I do the final CG. So I know there's going to be a little bit of weight, maybe not even a half a pound, like a quarter of a pound will go in the nose to CG this because I'm not using pilots and everything. So that is pretty much it, man. I mean, everything's done as far as building, gluing, and everything. So now it's just a powered up, program the radio, do a final CG, and then go test fly. So and this is what, like, 16 minutes, 17 minutes. Good Lord. Sorry for talking too much, but you know, that's what we do. Oh, and quickly, got the replacement tank in for the F-15 here. The vent on this thing is not molded very well, and is like, even drilling it out, it's just too restrictive. Like you just like put a little suction on it and it like collapses in the tank. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put another vent, basically cap this, put some glue in there, close it off, and then just glue on like a little vent here on the top, because this will sit essentially right here, and this part will be exposed. So I'm going to put the vent right here and run it to the vent line, and that way if I need to get it out, it'll still come out, because you can't go putting anything on top vent wise here, or it won't come out. So it's just, you know, that's the problem with these plastic tanks. So, but now that this is done, I'll finish this up, and then I'm gonna hop onto that guy real quick, like I mentioned in the last video, and kind of finish it up real quick. It's at about the same stage this one is. I just gotta mount batteries and make a few more leads and set up in CG, and then I'll get onto that. So anyways, sorry for the long-winded video. Again, by all means, if you live in the, around the Huntsville area and you want to come hang out, it's I got the lights off, but I got plenty of room, got plenty of tables to build shit on. So you guys take it easy. Cheers.